What's going on, babe?
Hey, babe, how was your day?
It was actually pretty productive. Happy to be home.
Good. You know, we got a game today.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, you're a little rough around the edges.
I'm saying, I've been working all night, taking care of business, getting to the... You know what? I don't even want to talk about it. I got you. I'm not trying to be out here looking like a dusty, and that's why I'm excited to have Tiege Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. They help me start and maintain my skincare routine by making the entire process uncomplicated. Honestly, it's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which come with all of the basics: a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin, a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My favorite part about Tiege Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price and the ability to customize your box. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description. You'll get 30% off your first box plus a free gift. Click the link and get started today. We're taking care of ourselves. Self-care, fellas, is the first step to be able to get to that bag, to take care of business, and be on top of things and level up in every aspect of your life. Feel the Tiege, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for Tiege Hanley for continuing to hold us down, sponsoring the show. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Link is in the description. So shout out to Tiege Hanley. If you are not a part of the Tiege crew, make sure you link in the description to get your pack. And then in addition to that, we got the bag chasers in the building. So on top of my game, I'm coming in through the ceiling. What up, though, bag chasers? Got these phones in my pocket. Make sure these mugs on silent. I've been posting on Instagram and stuff today. Participating in society. Been up since 5 a.m. getting it popping. Shout out to Fight Club. They put a bounty on my head. Q put a bounty on my head yesterday. Paid for me to get the piss off my own panel. We got a wild thing going over there on Fight Club. So shout out to Aaron. Shout out to Brittany. Shout out to everybody that held us down over at Fight Club. I think we need to get the housekeeping out of the way because we got a lot of content to go over today, right? So first and foremost, let me first acknowledge the bag chasers. I got Vaseline on my lips. Got my Tiege pack popping. Let me acknowledge the bag chasers. I dropped a Patreon exclusive video. In the Patreon this weekend, I have a Patreon exclusive interview. A new interview that is lined up for you guys. So please don't ever say that I am not the king of content, because the content in the Patreon is 10 times better than anything that we do on YouTube, anything we do on Anton Daniels, anything we do on the Millionaire Morning Show. The content is fire. And this is the first weekday of the month, October. What do I say in the beginning of the month for all of those that want to stay dusty? The first weekday of the month is the best time to join the Patreon. If you are not a part of the bag chasers, please do not come to me asking me, how can you level up? How can you become a better version of yourself? Yo, Anton, I want some advice, whatever, so on and so forth. If you're not willing to invest $15 in yourself, I can't do anything for you. if you're not willing to invest 15, now, much to my dismay, disappointment, I said, Rita, we have to keep up with the rate of inflation. There's no way that I can freaking keep this price at $15 at the beginning of the year. And she said, Anton, we got to look out for the people. I said, Rita, but today's price is not yesterday's price. And she said, Anton, we got to look out for the people. So thank Rita. Blame Rita for it still being $15. But I'm going to just be honest with you. If y'all can't invest $15 in yourself, then I have nothing for you. You are not interested in becoming a better version of yourself. Please don't ask me to love you more than you love yourself. Okay? The content in there is better than what you freaking getting on Disney Plus and Netflix. At least, at the very least, the production value is incredible. Crazy. The content actually helps you to become a better version of yourself. I was in a fireside chat inside of the Discord last night, and I was just observing. They didn't even know I was there. And then I wound up saying something. I'm like, yo, what up? Good job, guys. They was talking about cryptocurrency and different platforms and what you should and shouldn't use in order to make sure that you keep your crypto wallet safe and all of this other type of stuff. And they was like, yo, Anton, I didn't even know you. I am here. He is I is him. So I am in the Discord. Make sure y'all tap into the Discord when you tap into the Patreon. And again, there is no better day to join the Patreon than the beginning of the month. And if you can't do $15, then that's unfortunate. I'm going to pray for you. That's all I can do is offer up a quick millisecond prayer. Hey, bless the Dusties with $15. That's all I got for you, bro. That's it. You pay more than that for the upsized version of your McDonald's meal. I don't want to hear nothing from you. Please don't come to me about nothing. So anyways, now that we got that out of the way, I wanted to let y'all know that we do have the exclusive interview that's dropping this week. I do have another Patreon exclusive in addition to the one that I dropped yesterday, or was it yesterday? Saturday. I dropped the Patreon exclusive on Saturday. I got an exclusive interview. I go out of my way to make sure I give y'all the content that y'all want and that y'all need. Also, in addition to that, me and Charleston, we are doing a regular thing in which that will be dropping in the Patreon as an exclusive also. So me and Charleston White, the guy that y'all love the most, the first person that y'all asked me to get on a platform, we are doing a regular thing. We have a regular podcast that we are doing and putting together, and that is going to be dropping regularly on the Patreon. So I don't know what else to tell you. I am my own Netflix. I am my own Disney Plus. I am my own HBO Max. I am my own Peacock. So if you want that real fire, oh man, I got a crazy interview. I got 2 crazy interviews. Shout out to Brock. I have 2 crazy interviews coming up for y'all, and it is insane. And this ain't just, I ain't just going for the popular entertainers. I'm going for business people. I'm talking to politicians. I'm talking to movers and shakers, people that can really, really give you some insight and information. And it's insane. I'm working on someone so big. I already got some stuff lined up for y'all. So most of the weekends in October, I'm going to be out shooting content with these people. And this is just for the bag chasers. But more importantly, I got some people lined up that are massive that I'm working on. So one of them I haven't quite locked in yet, but we working on it. But I got some super fire stuff for y'all. And it's going to be awesome. So make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. In addition to that, make sure that if you want to get in touch with me personally and you want to book a phone call or a personal session, email me at Anton Daniels. I'm not going to be too much more available, to be honest with y'all. My time is shrinking up, and the availability that I have for new people that want to kick it with me personally on a Zoom call or a personal call is really, really drying up. Seriously. Because what's happening is a lot of people that do tap in with me, they get reoccurring calls. So they'll do a monthly call, which completely removes my availability for that next month for that particular session. So I'm actually reluctant to even say this anymore as far as email me. But if you need to get in touch with me personally, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. I'm going to try to get you in for a Zoom call or a personal call, but that's on you. So I warned y'all, I gave y'all the game, but it's on you now. So Now that we got the housekeeping out of the way, let's go ahead and get straight into the show because I got a few things that I want to tap into before I get into Jordan Peterson specifically. But this article, somebody sent me this article, and so I don't think it's going to take us that long for us to be able to mine this out. I want to share this with you guys really quickly. Check this out, right? I'm paycheck to paycheck. Hold on, let me make sure that I'm in here. In here. In there like swimwear. I've been listening to A. Marie this morning. It's just one thing that got me tripping. All right, so listen. My microphone changed. Let me make sure this is plugged up right. Gotta get this together. This ain't gonna be happening. Oh, we got the content creation space. We are less than. Yeah. We good. We got the content creation. This is one more thing that I wanted to announce to y'all. They're finishing all of the painting. We got furniture going in within the next 2 weeks. We got a design crew coming in, and we got the content creation space coming along nicely. So, what I got lined up for y'all with the, oh my God, I got so much lined up. We got the New Year's thing coming up, Rita. Can I announce that yet? Hold on, let me come back to y'all for a minute. Can I announce the New Year's thing yet, Rita? No, I'm saying, I don't know, what we want to do, how fast we want to announce it. Bag Chasers, New Year's Eve celebration with your boy. What day of the week is that? What is New Year's Eve and day? Can you look that up for me really quickly? I can pull it up on my let me see, calendar. Let's see what New Year's. Oh, it's a Saturday too? New Year's Eve is a Saturday, New Year's Day is a Sunday? Oh, yeah. All right, bet. We got that popping. We're going to get that popping. All right, so Bag Chasers. New Year's Eve is in Miami. All right? I don't know what the venue going to be. I don't know if we're going to be on the rooftop like we did it when we did the Patreon meetup. Preferably, we're going to do it that way. But New Year's Eve is in Miami. I am actually making the official announcement this week. You're hearing it first from here. New Year's Eve, if you want to come and kick it with Time Dog, only Patreon members only. New Year's Eve is in Miami. I am going to be in Miami for New Year's Eve. You guys are more than welcome to come and celebrate with me and Rita. We're going to have a good time. We're going to be safe. We're going to talk money. We're going to talk everything that we've grown throughout the year. We're going to get our numbers up. We're going to get our plans together. Y'all going to be able to ask me anything y'all want to ask me. Look at my bank accounts. I don't care. Let's just go and have a good time. If you are a part of the Patreon, you are more than welcome to attend New Year's Eve and come and kick it with your boy in Miami. All right. I'm giving y'all more than enough time. to be able to kick it. So I don't want to hear no excuses. Oh, I should have came. That's on you. It's your fault. All right. So let's get back to the show. All right. Let's get through this really quickly. Check this out. Somebody sent this to me, right? It says, I'm paycheck to paycheck. I make $350,000 a year. $350,000 a year. Okay. I'm paycheck to paycheck. Red flag all day long. I only looked at the headline and the title and I said, I got to share this with my bag chaser. So I have no idea what the context of this is, but I looked at the headline. I said, I gotta address this on a live stream, right? Make $350,000 a year, but I have $88,000 in student loans, which is not a problem, right? If you make $350,000 a year, that means that you didn't go into the Victim Olympics as far as picking a degree such as basket weaving, liberal arts, dance, something stupid, okay? 88,000 in student loans. Cool. No big deal. $170,000 in car loans and a mortgage. I pay $4,500 a month on. I don't know how big the car loans are or the mortgage. I'm assuming that the mortgage takes up the majority of it. All right. Do I need professional help? No, they don't need professional help. But I can't understand for the life of me how if you're making $350,000 a year, I'm going to mine this out from a bag chaser's perspective. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation with you guys. All right, so let's mine this out. By the end of 2022, I will have made $350,000 before taxes as the sole breadwinner and head of the household. I don't know if this is a guy or a girl, okay? I'm assuming that it's a guy. This is a great starting point, and I am very aware of how blessed we are to be in this position. But I'm always looking ahead on how to improve. I currently have $88,000 left on student loans, originally close to $150,000. So they've paid the equivalent of $62,000 on their student loans and very little credit card debt, less than $2,000, with more than $25,000 available. So the way that credit works and the gamification of credit is this, guys, okay? The way that credit works is how long you've had your credit history, your payment history, which means that you can't be late, and your credit utilization rate. These are the three most important things when it comes to credit. How long you've had it, whether you've made payments regularly, and your credit utilization rate, which flies in the face of what a lot of people think, in that they have to spend money on their credit cards in order to build their credit. It's a lie. You can get a secured credit card and get good credit, okay? There's a lot of different ways to get good credit, and this is not the show for it. Maybe I'll bust it down for y'all in a future show. But the reality is how long you keep your credit helps to improve your score, whether or not you've made payments on time, cool, and credit utilization rate. Credit utilization rate is how much credit you have and how much of it is being used. If you have $1,000 in credit available and you're using $700, that means that you have a 70% credit utilization rate. In this case in particular, they have a $25,000 limit and $2,000 in credit card debt, which means that they have a less than 10%. Ideally, you want to stay under 30. Under 10 is excellent. But the problem with this is this flies in the face of what bag chasers believe. Bag chasers don't believe in giving any money and interest to the servicer of the loan. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how much credit you have available. Do not use credit cards in order to finance the things that you're going to do every day. And I know a lot of y'all going to say, well, but, I plan on paying off the balance every month and so on and so forth. The whole idea behind credit cards, ladies and gentlemen, is that it gives you this false sense of security in that you have more available to spend than you normally would if you was to budget it out based off of the videos that I have inside of the Patreon. You're spending more than you normally would simply because you've already justified in your mind that you're going to pay off the entirety of the balance. And more importantly, if you don't pay off the entirety of the balance, which is 10 times of a red flag, then you're giving away free money to the servicer of the loan just because you want to be able to carry over that balance. It's dumb. It's stupid. There's no reason why somebody that makes $350,000 a year shouldn't have a Netflix subscription on a credit card and just let that mug be. That's it. That's all you need on the card is a Netflix subscription. You good. You have the credit that you need. You have the credit utilization. You have the history. It won't close your card because you got something reoccurring on it. You straight. If you make 350 bands a year, you have a spending problem, not a credit problem. Okay, let's continue. I have 2 auto loans. Oh, that's the problem. 2 auto loans totaling $170,000 for 2 electric vehicles at 5% interest. This is the problem. And this is why it's important for us to have these conversations about money, because it always comes back to the money before we get into the entertainment. Okay? First of all, they're making $350,000 a year, which means that they're above the threshold for getting any real tax breaks, even if you're a married couple. They're going to give the majority of their money over to taxes. This is why you need to be a bag chaser. They're going to give the majority of their money over to taxes. And so they financed 107. First of all, the problem with this is that they should have never been buying cars until they completely eliminated the debt. Because now they have to depend on the money that they make from their regular job in order to support their lifestyle. What do I teach y'all? What do I teach y'all inside of the Patreon? Eliminate the consumer debt first. I'm not talking about the mortgage. I'm talking about the general debts, right? Credit cards, loans, student loans, etc., etc. Eliminate the debt first, because the less you have to depend on as far as your money that you bring home in order to be able to pay off or support your lifestyle, the less you have to depend on that, the more that you can throw into assets, and you can reduce your tax liability by buying assets that you can write off legally and then continuing to build up your net worth while allowing that to support your lifestyle. If y'all would just wait for 5 minutes and get your life together and just pay off the thing that you think is going to make sure that you look good, and as far as keeping up with the Joneses, stay down for a half a minute. Life is long. Stay down for a half a minute. Get rid of the consumer debt. You can live the life that you want to live. It will be a dream life. You won't have that burden. You get that weight off your shoulders. You financed $170,000 for 2 electric vehicles at 5% interest. First of all, you're giving the money to the servicer of the loan and the interest rate. Secondly, you bought $170,000 in vehicles and you only make $350,000 a year. Literally, half of what you make has been spent on cars, which is a depreciating asset. It's dumb. And it's going to be a cycle. And they're not even able to write it off because it's actually their personal cars. Jesus Christ. Do you know why a lot of people buy G-Wagons in certain states? They buy G-Wagons because it meets a certain threshold and weight for them to be able to write it off as a tax liability as it pertains to their business. Nah, you think that just riding around in the G-Wagon, they just blowing money. They not. I've been recently offered a $200,000 HELOC at 9%. Jesus Christ. Which would help me bring down some of my monthly payments. No matter how much you make, trust me, I've coached doctors, lawyers, and athletes. Never a rapper. I haven't had a rapper tap in with me yet. I've coached doctors, lawyers, and athletes who make insane amounts of money, and they are facing the exact same problems as the majority of the people that make $50,000, $60,000, and $70,000 a year. They are living paycheck to paycheck. You would not believe it. The only caveat, the only thing that they got going in their favor is the fact that they have a career that they will always be able to lean on and make sure that they never go broke. But I know people making $500,000 a year. Rita know them. We friends with them. We coach them. We develop relationships with them that are living paycheck to paycheck. I promise you. Their entire life is financed. It has nothing to do with how much money you make. It has everything to do with what you do with the resources that God has given you to be blessed with. The majority of people, I did a whole show on it, that make $100,000 or more are living paycheck to paycheck. This is a fact. It is absolutely a fact. Regularly, every day I do coaching calls with people saying, yo, I make 150, I make 200, 250, 50,000, 500,000, and I am in shambles and I have no clue why my life is like this when I make so much freaking money. Which would help me bring down some of my monthly payments to do some small home repairs and improvements. But I want to make the right moves. I've also been presented with a few long-term real estate investment opportunities that are rental properties out of state and are currently bringing in 10 to 12% ROI, which means that somebody probably sold them or is trying to convince them on the idea of, hey, get into this real estate. I can get you 10 to 12% on your money. No clue. Just because they make a lot of money does not mean that they have business acumen. They need to book a call with Anton from AntonDaniels.com. My biggest concern is that after taxes, 401k contributions, bill savings, and mortgage, $4,500 mortgage. They have a $4,500 mortgage. On paper, look, check it out. On paper, I'm paycheck to paycheck. 350 bands a year. Don't breathe wrong. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Don't do nothing. If they miss a paycheck, they're going to be in the hole. Paycheck to paycheck. I'd like to use this HELOC to consolidate debt while also participating in some of these investment opportunities. And I'm the first generation to own a home. No, you don't. You don't own that home yet. And the first to earn this much annually and don't want to mess this up. Too late. How specifically can a financial advisor help me? Well, I'm not a financial advisor. But I will tell you this. Lower your lifestyle. $4,500 a month in mortgage, pay an egregious amount in taxes, $170,000 in 2 electric car loans, $88,000 in student loans, and got credit card debt, and is probably living a lifestyle that's beyond their means and living paycheck to paycheck. Now you do the math and tell me, how much different is it from the people that actually is financing a lifestyle that make a lot of money from the people that don't make a lot of money? How is it any different? How is it any different? One of the problems is that they supporting a lifestyle. They think that their income is going to be justified when it comes to financing the things that they're going to do every single day. It's not. It's not. It's dumb. Have y'all ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? You need to go and get that book. So anyways, I do videos about this, or I break down how they can solve this in several different videos inside of the Patreon, including budget videos of things that I look to invest in. And they're going to get fumbled. They're going to fumble the bag with these out-of-state opportunities. This is so dumb. I can do a whole 1.5 hour show breaking down how they need to move differently and what they're doing wrong. But anyways, tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. If you need to kick it with me personally, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com and we're going to get it popping. Let's get into this whole Jordan Peterson thing. I'm going to skip over Antonio Brown. Y'all want to talk about Antonio Brown real quick? We'll give 7 minutes to Antonio Brown. 7 minutes is all I got for Antonio Brown. So, Antonio Brown, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how familiar you guys are with Antonio Brown, but Antonio Brown, ladies and gentlemen, was recently in Dubai. Now, I've done whole shows on Antonio Brown, specifically detailing how he fumbled the bag and how his behavior on the field and him getting multiple opportunities to be in an NFL, including the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, has all been fumbled. And no matter how much talent that you have, and I actually released a video on this channel earlier this morning that specifically talked about attitude. Attitude is the thing that's more important. Attitude is going to be the determining factor for whether or not you are successful or you are broke. And a lot of these athletes are the dumbest of the dumb that I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, we worship them. We follow them. We think that they're awesome. We think that their on-field talent is supposed to supersede their character, which is one of the reasons why I say that I only do business with people based off of character and not what it is that they say or do, right? Your character is the thing that means more to me. Whether you're a good person. I don't evaluate whether or not I rock with people based off of how much money they got or what status they have, socioeconomic status, job that they have, so on and so forth. For me, it's 100% about character. All day, every day. It's all about character. But somebody sent me an article, and so I said, oh, wow, let's talk about Antonio Brown and him fumbling the bag again. Cool. So, Antonio Brown, let me share this with you guys really quickly. Just really quickly. In Dubai, exposing himself to women, to a woman in a swimming pool at a Dubai hotel. So, NFL fans are in disbelief after Antonio. Why are they in disbelief? Is anybody in disbelief that Antonio Brown is exposing himself to women in another country and getting kicked out of hotels and possibly even dealt with a certain type of way? Because you can't listen. If Brittany Griner taught us anything, is that you can't do what you want to do when you in unfamiliar territory. You can't even do what you want to do here in the United States of America, let alone be in an unfamiliar territory. If Brittany Griner taught us anything, is that the antics of Antonio Brown, and I would bet money on this. As a matter of fact, I would be willing to have a pool on when Antonio Brown gets arrested. Now, I'm not a person that wants to get anybody arrested, and I don't feel like anybody should lose their bag. But I'd be willing to bet and take a pool on when Antonio Brown is going to be arrested, whether it's here in the United States of America or abroad. I believe that it's only a matter of time before we see a crying emoji of Antonio Brown. NFL fans are in disbelief after Antonio Brown exposed himself to a guest or two guests while swimming in a pool at a hotel in Dubai. According to the New York Post, the incident took place on May 14th while the former All-Pro wide receiver was staying at the Armani Hotel in Dubai. The footage, which has since gone viral, shows Brown shoving his backside into the face of a woman before he lifted up his cock meat sandwich and flashed it in her direction. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It just so happened to be a white woman. Eyewitnesses said Brown had just met the woman, and she was fuming after the encounter. That's what the witnesses are saying. They said that he just met the woman. Now, I don't know how true that is. They said he just met the woman and said Brown, the woman was fuming. Even if she was all with you, you just met her. Why are you getting into that type of situation in the first place? Yo, you showing your cock meat sandwich and your backside to a chick, even if she's all giddy and feeling you, is a problem, bro. This is a problem. So before we get into this, let me make sure that I can actually show this before I do so. Before we get into this, let me look at the footage myself. Look at this idiot. Well, I can't show the first. I'm not going to show the first part because he jumps out the water with his butt out. I'm going to move it forward a little bit. See, this is how I got to make sure. Even Antonio Brown can get me in trouble on YouTube. All right. Look at this fool. I moved it forward a little bit just because I didn't want no problems. Of course, he doing it to the white woman. And you can clearly see a whole bunch of other people in the pool, which we don't know what they are. We know that they're of a lighter color pigmentation right after we got done watching the Jeffrey Dahmer series. All right. So I moved it ahead a little bit and just to see the other dumb stuff that he's doing that's safe to watch on YouTube.
Another one.
Look at the fools prompting. Look at all of the people in the background. Look at this dummy. She's trying to get away.
He's waterboarding her. He's giving her the longboard.
This is the type of thing that gets you arrested, especially in another country. This is the type of thing, and you see her. Did you see her running away? Hold on, watch this. Watch this. We're gonna pull it back a little bit. Look at this idiot. Look at the dummy. Now look at her running.
He's waterboarding her.
He had just literally the report said that he just met her. Now, it's a couple different ways in which we can skin this. Why would anybody want to give Antonio Brown an opportunity to join their team in the National Football League, considering that this guy with this nappy hair, fellas, cut your hair. Try to stay trimmed with your looks. Don't go outside looking like you just came out of a Planet of the Apes movie. Try to look presentable when you're going to your employer or you're trying to do business with people. It makes a difference. I don't care what you think. I'm telling you how people operate in America. Okay, that's A. B, try not to throw white women that you've just met into the pool upside down after flashing both sides of your front and your back overseas in a different hotel where there's a bunch of other white people around, and then you got a bunch of friends prompting you on to do things that you're not supposed to do. Please try not to get arrested in another country so that you'll have more black people running in the Victim Olympics protesting that they need to have Joe Biden fly over and come and free you, that we need to do a prisoner swap with the Merchant of Death for you because you was irresponsible with your actions. Gosh, what is wrong with these idiots? Why do they do this stupid stuff? And then we're going to have the most idiotic of us protesting on their behalf. Meanwhile, we have people that need your help down in Florida and Mississippi that get no attention because Brett Favre and Antonio Brown decided to be the clown shows. Jesus Christ. Anyways, Antonio had some thoughts on this before we go ahead and get into somebody that's actually a legend, Jordan Peterson. He took to Twitter. He said, every chance they. I'm curious, who are these mythical theys that we continue to talk about, guys? Who is they? Who are these mythical theys that we... Is it Anton? Am I now a they because I'm talking about it in a negative sense? Sack Passe says, why our hair got to be trimmed? Because y'all be looking like a bunch of monkeys. That's why your hair got to be trimmed. When in Rome, do what Romans do. We not in Africa. You're not hunting wild boar with your hands in a spear. We have clippers, edgers. Try to brush your hair. Listen, look. I'm not the one to tell you the thing that you want to hear. I'm not the blackety black guy. I'm the guy that's going to tell you the truth. If you come into corporate America and you're looking like my man that got all of the wild dreadlocks everywhere, I'm not hiring you and putting you in front of my people in order to try to sell a product, bro. You can keep your hair as nappy as you want. Just don't come asking for the wrong person like me for a job. I'm not interested in hiring you. I don't want you as a representation of my company. You can leave your hair how you want to. Why our hair always got to be trimmed? Because we don't want you looking like a baboon. We don't want you looking like an untamed horse. We don't want you to look like monkey balls. Is that clear enough for y'all? You're not a rapper. You're not an entertainer. Huh? You're a person that has a regular job that is a representation of somebody else's business. Try to look presentable. Do you want to go and get more money in corporate America or do you not? Otherwise, why don't we just go ahead and all go move back to Africa? What is so difficult about looking presentable and brushing your teeth and combing your hair? Well, that ain't what our ancestors did. Well, your ancestors ain't here. What is so hard about this? I don't understand. Why don't y'all want better jobs? Do you not want to work? Do you not want to look presentable? Even if you have your own business, don't you want to get more jobs and don't want to be stereotyped? Because it's a thing. Huh? Maybe you should show up with watermelon on your beard and some chicken grease hanging off your hands while you at it too, huh? No? You tired of looking like a monkey? You tired of looking like a tortoise with the things that's hanging off of them, looking like a pair of wolf balls on your head? You tired of looking like mops? Huh? No? You do want a job. You do want more money. Because this is called the Millionaire Morning Show. And so I'm definitely going to tell you the thing that's best for you when it comes to getting to that bag. I promise you, listen, it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt. You will be okay. It's not going to burn. It's not going to sting. It's not going to do none of that. You know what it's going to do? It's going to get you that $350,000, $500,000 bag. Because I've seen you do more for less. You will sell your soul and y'all do anything. Y'all be out there looking like Homie the Clown trying to impress these hoes out here in the club. You look like a whole fool packaged up in the club looking like a clown. You've done more for less. You can walk around with your pants hanging around your knees. in order to try and press your homies. But when somebody like me tell your monkey butt to cut your hair so we can get you a big bag, you sit there and you revolt against me like I'm telling you something bad. No, cut your freaking hair, bro. And stop looking like a whole fool in these streets. You a bad representation, and the reason why I got to try to be an upstanding gentleman to the 10th degree, because I got to try to make up for all of the niggas that they didn't see that came right before me. Now I got to go and represent and look better for you because you didn't want to pull your pants up and put a tie on. Even in your dress clothes, you sagging. Tucks and chucks. Jordans and tuxedos. Man, put some freaking shoes on. If you don't go get you some shoes, no, I got to keep it real for the hood. Man, put that junk away. It's a time and a place for everything. Yes, you can wear your hoodies. Yes, you can wear your Jordans. But please don't wear them in the boardroom. That's not what we do here. Stop being Antonio Browns, please. Please. Don't be Antonio Brown. Unless you're a designer, unless you're Steve Jobs, right? Then you can do what you want to do. Unless you're an athlete that get paid to have your hair looking like a whole fool, then you can do what you want to do. Guess what? Guess what? Think about it like this. Think about it like this, y'all. Okay? Just hear me out. Hear me out for 5 seconds. Chris Paul has no tattoos, a regular haircut, and he gets more commercials than anybody in the entire NBA. This is a fact. Not even the most talented, but it's certainly the most marketable. Now, if you don't care about money, if you don't care about success, if you don't care about securing your kids' future, because you will speak with forked tongue and say, yo, generational wealth is meaningful to me. But then you'll say, well, why I got to cut my hair? Chris Paul is not even remotely, has never been. He's undersized, right? Doesn't have the best handles, has no tattoos, has a clean haircut, and is the most marketable dude in the NBA, has had more bags to bust down simply because he presents himself a certain type of way. Think about that, bro. Think about it. The one tattoo that I got, I'm looking to get it removed. Yo, Rita was just laughing at me today because we just made an appointment to get my teeth done. I'm about to get my teeth done. I'm on a diet plan. I said, listen, if I'm going to be on stage and I need to be more marketable, I'm going to have to look a little bit differently so that I can actually get the bags that I want, to get the opportunities that I want. Dress for the job that you want, not the job that you at, because it's going to be a whole lot of niggas packing bags, throwing boxes, and stealing boxes and Amazon boxes off of people's porches. Jay-Z is a rapper. I don't care. Jay-Z is an entertainer. But no, listen, we cool. We don't mind our entertainers looking like that because they the court gestures. Hey guys. You going to the P.O. box? I'm about to mine out this Jordan Peterson conversation. They trying to look like a whole fool. A whole fool. And why y'all always referencing rappers? Reference somebody that's actually, that we should actually champion in the black community. As far as, and this is why I say black culture is trash. Y'all always reference the worst of us in order to use as an example of why you should do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. Just stop looking like a whole fool. Jesus Christ. Anton, I want to be the court jester. Yo, what you doing out here? Man, put the microphone down. You're 50. You're not going to make it. It's over. If you didn't make it 20 years ago, you're not going to make it now. There's no place for your rhymes here. I need you to go and get a full-time job, buddy, and take care of your kids. You 20. I mean, your son is 25. You 55, and you still trying to spit rhymes to him. Your son don't want to hear your rhymes, and neither do his friends on their Xbox 360, Xbox Gold, whatever it is that they playing. They don't want to hear your rhymes. You played out, homie. Get a job. Jesus. Do I gotta be all daddy now too? The ancestors of some of these people talk about would be ashamed to see how their offspring live now after all of the ish that they went through. Facts. That is an absolute fact. You know what they used to look like when they went to baseball games in the 50s and the 60s? They was wearing suits and hats, and they had their hair brushed, and they looked great, and they were building great communities, so great to where they had to actually go and burn down their communities because they were a reflection of the professionalism that they exuded. Shout out to Cliff. Jesus Christ. Anyways, over to Jordan Peterson, the legend, the myth, the man, the legend. 12 Rules for Life is a book that I regularly keep inside of my collection. Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life is a must read for every man. I believe that should be recommended reading in school. Now, we know that that's not going to be recommended reading in school for young people because we're in a woke society that is requiring us to dumb down who we are and to look like fools. And then they put that on the poster boards. And then that is the representation of us. But Anton is on a path. I'm on a warpath specifically to change the narrative of what success looks like. Last night, I had a conversation on a panel with my guy, Freeman's Journal. I love Freeman. I had Diesel TV on there, and I also had Jay Prince. And I was talking about the importance of compassion and being a representation. And, you know, when we then become great or when we then become successful, do we reach back and do we do the things that is in the best interest of the people, or are we only doing the things that's in the best interest of ourselves? And so I've been interested in doing this breakdown for a few days now, but obviously I don't live stream on the weekends on the Millionaire Morning Show. I like to give y'all a break so y'all have an opportunity to come and kick it with your boy later. But Jordan Peterson was recently on Piers Morgan's show, and I think that Jordan Peterson is a national hero. Straight hailing from Canada, clinical psychologist, also a professor, came on my radar about a good 5-6 years ago and has been on my radar ever since. And now I believe that he is a part of the same network as Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro, so on and so forth, right? So Jordan Peterson recently did an interview where he bust into tears because he was so passionate about red pill incels. At least that's what I'm being told. So I do have a timestamp, and I want to go forward into that timestamp. And then we may rewind back and forth through the video in order to get some context as to how they got there. But for the sake of time, I definitely want to get straight to the point in the question in which he was asked that prompted him to then go into these tears of passion for incels specifically. So this will be the first time that I watched it. The Daily Wire. The Daily Wire. That's it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for holding me down with that. The Daily Wire. All right. So let's go into it. And I want to show this video. I want to go over this video with you guys. And then we're going to mine it out and see if this is justified. I want to get your insight. And I might drop. Matter of fact, I'm going to drop a link in the description for you guys to be able to cam up with me and share your thoughts on this. Because maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm off. I'm going to drop the link in the chat for you guys to be able to come up and have a conversation with me about what's happening with this whole Jordan Peterson situation. So let me drop that really quickly. I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. And then if you need to get in touch with me, you already know how. Let's get into this whole Jordan Peterson video, ladies and gentlemen.
Tonight on Piers Morgan Uncensored, one of the most fascinating and controversial...
So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to later in the video.
I could be careful in what I was discriminating. And then to ally that with calmness, so to speak, they find out you are, magical super Nazi.
All right, so let me back up a little bit.
It's from your man. Then a tyrannical
interview.
1,000 hours of listening.
Tool, actually.
Oh yeah. Well, there is nothing that people like more and need more than to be listened to. And that's partly why the left clamors all the time. It says, look, there's all these people who aren't being listened to. It's like, there are a lot of people who aren't being listened to. They're absolutely right. There's no doubt about that. And I've dealt with people who were extraordinarily marginalized, so to speak, in my clinical practice. And some of those people, to straighten out their minds, they need like 10,000 hours of listening. Because no one, and I mean this literally, I've had people in my clinical practice, no one ever listened to them their whole life.
Yeah.
And so when they start talking, they're all over the place, they're disorganized, they're hyper emotional.
Having met me now for an hour, what would your initial clinical diagnosis be?
Well, you're probably optimally disagreeable for your profession, because you can listen, but you're also not a pushover. And that's a very fine line, right? Because if you're too assertive or aggressive, then you get domineering, but if you're not enough, then you're a pushover. And and this was also the case with Kathy Newman, she's quite disagreeable, and that's a masculine trait, by the way. And it was one of the things
Well, I think she's gone into it in a way, so how we start.
I've never actually listened to Piers Morgan, but I can understand what Jordan Peterson is saying, in that in order to even be able to do the job that they do, you'd have to be fundamentally disagreeable or objectively disagreeable in order to push back to get the most out of whoever it is that you're talking to as a guest. I'm starting to find my footing even more in the interviews that I do. I think that even when I interviewed Brittany Renner, she was pleasantly surprised. And then she opened up to me about what she really believed and how she felt. And a lot of you guys, if you are a part of the Patreon and you watch that video in its entirety, you understand what I'm saying, and that I was able to glean a lot of things out of her that a lot of people probably wouldn't even think to ask. Simply because my goal is to have a conversation in a level of civil discourse instead of just asking or trying to corner her or push her into a corner. And that's for everybody that I interview. You'll see as we come up, this next interview that I'm dropping this week in a Patreon, it was a lot of, let's just say, civil discourse, a lot of pushback, a lot of turning the tides and turning the tables on me to then hold me accountable specifically. And I'm not editing anything out. I'm dropping the entirety of it. But I can understand what Jordan Peterson is saying. And even with Kathy Newman, which maybe we'll break down that video, because I believe that video was from 4 years ago. We'll break that down tomorrow. We'll break down why it's difficult for women to do the jobs that men do often at times and then have to come back home and turn that off, because a lot of what they're doing in these positions are masculine traits, and you can't turn it on and off like a light switch if you are a woman, because your natural instinct is to be more nurturing. But let's continue into this interview.
For the interview, she'd gone into it, I think, with a preconceived idea of what you would be like and sort of stuck to that.
Yeah.
She's actually a very skillful journalist and interviewer, and I was surprised the way that interview went when I was watching it. And I think it was because she just had an idea of what she thought you would be.
Well, I think she also had an idea of what the optimal outcome of the interview might be. And I think a lot of the journalists who've gone after me in some sense have that. They think, there's part of them that thinks, I'll be the person that finally exposes him for what he is.
Yeah.
But then they find out that I'm not who they thought that I am, or at least I'm not.
I don't know why anybody would go into an interview trying to expose Jordan Peterson. First of all, there's some people on this earth that are just much, much, much more intelligent than any of us are. There are some people on this earth that are way more intelligent than any of us could ever be. Jordan Peterson is one of those people. He's one of those people that don't have to get on and do any gimmicks, theatrics. He doesn't play into narratives or anything like that. He just says what he means, and he means what he says. And the problem with other people is that they're not even close to being as intelligent as Jordan Peterson is, in which he can sniff it out, he can mine it out, and then he puts you in his place in an intelligent way, and that he's passionate about what it is that he believes. So there's no way to stop this guy. I mean, he's head and shoulders above all of us, including myself. Aaron says, you also ask great questions because you actually do your homework. Most interviewers nowadays are very unprepared, and that's true. One of the things that I hear from a lot of interviewers, because I actually build a relationship with them off camera before we ever get into the interview or cut the cameras on, is we talk about who they are, we talk about who I am, I deep dive, I listen to them, and then as we have the conversation and I bring up certain talking points, they're like, wait a minute, you read my book. Wait a minute, how did you know that? Wait a minute, how did you? Because I want to be informed, that I'm truly curious as to what that person thinks, instead of trying to spin a narrative just for the sake of content. I'm willing to sacrifice some views in order to really mine out who the person is because I'm actually looking to learn also. So yeah, that's a thing for me.
Quite as demonic as they thought I might be.
Well, Professor Stephen Hawking, before he died, gave me his last television interview, and he said that the biggest threat to the future of mankind was when artificial intelligence learned to self-design. What do you think the biggest threat to mankind is?
Narcissistic compassion.
Let me mine that out really quickly. Narcissistic compassion. Narcissistic compassion. I don't even know what he means by that. Narcissistic. Is narcissistic compassion? Because I want to try to guess what he's referencing before we even get into what he started crying about, right? Narcissistic compassion. I'm thinking that narcissistic compassion is pushing somebody down a path that you think is best for society based off of how you feel instead of trying to understand where they come from. So, for example, if we take the LGBTQ plus ABCDEFG community, right? Them believing that everybody should be censored that goes against what it is that they believe, I'm guessing that would be a form of narcissistic compassion because they're arrogant enough to automatically believe what they say is right based off of talking points instead of trying to understand to know, and get to understand why other people believe what they believe instead. That's what I'm assuming that he means by narcissistic compassion. You see how I had to think about that for a long time and he just rattled it off right off the top of his lip? Let's continue.
Now AIs, it's a threat too, but if we had our act together ethically, it's possible that AI could become a useful servant rather than a tyrannical master. You don't want to automate your tyrannical masters. And that's the danger. That's one of the dangers of AI.
I've got to wrap it up. I don't want to, but I have to. I want to ask you just quickly, the film director Olivia Wilde has a new movie out, which she says is
compassionate, self-serving. I agree, Aaron. I agree.
Based on you, this insane man, this pseudo-intellectual hero to the incel community. Incel being these weirdo loner men who are despicable in many ways.
I thought that I would have a level of respect for Piers Morgan, considering that I've never actually heard Piers Morgan or I've never watched this show. And he's already calling a group of people despicable. This is what he labeled them. Weird, despicable, all of this other type of stuff. He's not leading with passion. He's not leading with trying to help other people. He's leading with what he thinks. I don't know. I'm assuming what he thinks is something that Jordan Peterson will identify with as far as agreeing with him. Why would he say that? Why would he say that in the first place? Why would you label a group of people despicable? Let me continue. I'm gonna rewind it a little bit. Because I want to make sure I caught everything.
Could become a useful servant rather than a tyrannical master. You don't want to automate your tyrannical masters. And that's the danger. That's one of the dangers of AI.
I've got to wrap it up. I don't want to, but I have
Y'all saying that Piers Morgan is a feminist?
to. I want to ask you just quickly, the film director Olivia Wilde has a new movie out, which she says is based on you. This
Oh, wait. So the film director, Olivia Wilde. I want to make sure that I quote him accurately.
insane man, this pseudo-intellectual hero to the incel community. Incel being these weirdo loner men.
But he didn't identify that would be, he just quoted her and then he added his own description onto it. So it's still his perspective as to what it is that he's describing as incel men.
Who are despicable in many ways. Is that you? Are you the intellect?
And he just threw that in there, who are despicable in many ways. This is his thoughts. And see, this is why y'all got to read the body language. You need to rewatch the conversations. You need to play it clip by clip, because these are his thoughts. This is not something that he's just quoting. This is his perspective. Despicable in many ways. And then they say it really quickly as though you didn't catch what they said. But let me continue.
Hero to these people?
Sure, why not? You know, people have been after me for a long time because I've been speaking to disaffected young men. You know, what a terrible thing to do that is. I thought the marginalized were supposed to have a voice.
It's making you emotional. Talk about that.
Well, God, you know, it's very difficult to understand how demoralized people are. And certainly many young men are in that category. And you get these casual insults, these incels. What does it mean? It's like, well, these men, they don't know how to make themselves attractive to women who are very picky, and good for them. Women, like, be picky. That's your gift, man. Demand high standards from your men. Fair enough. But all these men who are alienated, it's like they're lonesome and they don't know what to do, and everyone piles abuse on them.
When she said that, Olivia Wilde, it stung you, didn't it? I saw the
Oh,
reaction.
by that time, you know, that as far as critiques go, that was kind of low level. I mean, once I got painted as Red Skull, you know, magical super Nazi, that was kind of the end of the insults. There's no place past that. So when Olivia Wilde made those comments, the first thing I did was go look at the preview for her movie, which I quite liked. I thought I would go see that movie probably, and perhaps I will. It didn't really bother me. My family and I talked about it right away, and we were able to respond to it with some degree of humor, which then people completely misunderstood. I said I hope that, you know, that if I had to be played by someone, he's a very good-looking man, and so that seems all right, you know. And then I said something like, I hope he gets my fashion style choice right when he plays me. And it was a joke. All that was a joke.
I mean, you've been so controlled.
Let me rewind it really quickly. I want to rewind it to what he just got passionate about. Let me look at this Olivia Wilde lady. Give me a second. I just need to know who she is. Actress, filmmaker. She played Remy 13 Hadley in the medical drama series House. Appeared in Tron, Cowboys and Aliens, The Incredible Burt Wonderstone, and The Lazarus Effect. Olivia Wilde. Let's do a little bit of research on Olivia Wilde. Olivia Wilde. Olivia Wilde. Candace Owens has some interesting things to say about her. This was 2 weeks ago. Okay, so hold on. Are y'all familiar with Olivia Wilde? I'm not an Olivia Wilde fan. Let's do this really quickly.
Do you know about Olivia Wilde? Well, I'll tell you. The first thing you need to know is that Olivia Wilde is a feminist. And if you didn't know she was a feminist, check this picture out of her wearing a shirt that says feminist, okay? And in case this shirt is not making it clear that she's a feminist, she also, once upon a time, wore this skirt. And the skirt, if you can't read it and you're listening to this podcast, it says feminist, 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 feminist.
I'm curious. How many ladies in the chat would identify as, I'm going to come back to Jordan Peterson, but I'm curious as to this breakdown from Candace Owens because, you know, I want to kind of understand who this Olivia Wilde lady is. I'm not familiar with her. I don't follow her at all. Is Olivia Wilde Captain Marvel? That's what somebody said in the chat. Is this Captain Marvel? I don't think it is because they would have listed it on her Wikipedia. So she's a feminist. I'm curious, how many ladies in the chat would say they identify as being a feminist? More importantly, how many fellas in the chat would say that they are married or in a relationship with a feminist? Be honest. How many women in the chat would say that they are technically, or they would advocate as, or they would identify as being a feminist? And how many guys in the chat believe that they are married to a woman that is a feminist? I am absolutely positively curious. K9 says I just left one. Nah, I'm a traditionalist, says Empress. I know you're a traditionalist, Empress. I talked to you, I think. Nope, thank God. You know they're going to lie. I think it's going to be a lot of lies too. What is the true definition of a feminist? My lady is not a feminist. Feminist and so you single mean. Listen. I'm gonna throw a shot in the dark. If there's anybody that is a feminist, that would a man or a woman can be a feminist or is married to or in a relationship with a feminist and believe that being a feminist is not a bad thing. I'm just looking to have a conversation. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. I'm curious as to what you guys think, and I want to make sure that I understand you correctly and I understand your position and where you stand. If somebody is a feminist, I'm throwing a shot in the dark, and you believe that you are correctly identifying as the right thing for society, or you are married to somebody that you would identify as a feminist, please click the link in the description. I am curious as to what you guys think. Let me finish hearing what Candace Owens has to say about Olivia Wilde.
Feminist. Hello. It's like 300 times around the skirt in case you missed it. Olivia Wilde is a feminist. And in case you are someone who only speaks English, she also wore this. Yes, that is Olivia Wilde wearing a shirt that in French reads Solidarité Féminine. I don't know if I'm saying that right because I don't speak French, but I'm pretty sure it means that she's a feminist. And in case that wasn't abundantly clear to you that she was a feminist, just check her out wearing this pussy hat. Yeah, there she is. There she is. She's a feminist, guys, and it's pink because girls like pink. She's a feminist. Now, of course, like all good feminists, Olivia sometimes gets attacked by men. And she usually likes to get attacked by men when she's trying to further her
husband
career.
is an actor and he served the divorce papers while she was on stage. I'm going to have to check that out. We're going to mine this out. This is not the end of this. I want to have a conversation. I want to continue the Jordan Peterson conversation well into tomorrow. But let's continue.
So Olivia Wilde had a long relationship. She has 2 children and about a 10-year relationship with an actor named Jason Sudeikis. And it was convenient for her. She had a movie that she was directing and producing that is called Don't Worry, Darling. And in wanting to do press for this movie, it was convenient for her that she was going through this separation with Jason Sudeikis. And a processor served her papers while she was at Comic-Con, I believe. Yeah, CinemaCon, rather. And so because this processor served her papers in public, which, by the way, has happened since the beginning of time. The processors like to do this because they know for a fact that a celebrity will be on a red carpet. There was a DJ named French Montana who got served at a club because he was making an appearance. When it happens to Olivia
you
Wilde,
can tell how out of the loop she is. French Montana is not a DJ. He is a rapper. Candace looking like a snack, ain't she? Something about a feminine woman that just looked like a snack. I believe that, honestly, feminine women, feminists, I just don't think that they've been buzzed down correctly. I believe that if a woman get buzzed down correctly, then she would no longer adopt these feminist views. And I'm not saying it as a joke. I'm saying it honestly. I believe that women that are feminists just have not been loved on correctly. And as a result, they adopt these weird views that is rooted in anger. I mean, how different is a feminist than an incel? Let me finish hearing what she got to say.
Attack, and it is an attack that can be used to promote her movie. So she gave this statement about being served papers relating to custody over their children. She said, quote, "It was my workplace. In any other workplace, it would be seen as an attack. It was really upsetting. It shouldn't have been able to happen. There was a huge breach in security, which is really scary. It's scary. That's very scary when a processor comes to serve your papers.
I appreciate you.
The hurdles that you had to jump through to get into that room with several badges, plus special COVID tests that had to be taken days in advance, which gave you wristbands that were necessary to gain access to the event. This was
See? Look. Mean P, true. I'm telling you, I know women. Says true. I am a feminist. I know I have never been loved right. We can knock the dust right on off of that. We can remove that feminist perspective. Rita, do you think that feminists just haven't had the D the way they supposed to? Honestly. You think that they need that monster mash, as Aaron just said? I honestly, but listen, we can knock the dust right on off of that. See, y'all done had a bunch of dudes that probably bust you down, didn't care, got up, kicked you out the house right after that because they wasn't trying to. Let me see those. Yeah, because you know half the dudes get that PNC. This just came from the mail. I don't know, what are these? 350. You said what? You said sometimes you get what? Yeah, you the worst. You the worst of the worst. I have to stop giving you some. No more for you. This is kind of dope. I like these. I got so many sneakers. I got over 200 pair of unworn sneakers. They are insane. Yeah, I think that y'all just ain't had it right. Y'all ain't had the dust knocked up off of y'all. Rita get a real bad attitude when she don't. Let me be quiet.
Something that required forethought. Yeah, she's under attack, guys, and she was really, really scared because these papers were handed to her in a professional manner. And like I said, she's not a special snowflake. This has happened many times in the past to celebrities, but it happened to a woman who is also, did I mention, a feminist. She goes on to say, I hated that
Appreciate
this
the game. We'll book a session soon.
the work of so many different people and the studio that I was up there representing. To try to sabotage that was really vicious, but I had a job to do. I'm not easily distracted. Oh, wow. She is just so brave. What a brave feminist woman Olivia Wilde is. Now, weigh this against, by the way, Jason Sudeikis' statement, which he gave about the incident, which sounds totally stable. He says, quote, the papers were drawn up to establish jurisdiction. Pardon, this is actually his representative giving the quote. Quote, papers were drawn up to establish jurisdiction relating to the of Ms. Wilde and Mr. Sudeikis. Mr. Sudeikis had no prior knowledge of the time or place that the envelope would have been delivered, as this would solely be.
All right, I think we got enough of this. I don't think many men call themselves incels. The red pill or manosphere adopted them to make it seem like they're fighting for them. You think that they adopted them to make them seem like they're fighting for them? I think that I do more for them than a lot of people do. I've had a lot of guys that say, Anton, I didn't like you at first, but now I'm going to give my definition of what it is. I just want to know a little bit more of what Olivia Wilde
up to the process on her set. She even talks about the ethos of her set, and he just did not go in line with the kind of ethos that she wanted to have on this set. And so, of course, the public ate this up and believed this until Shia LaBeouf came out. And he replied to this, and he released a letter that he wrote to her in response to the interview that she gave to Variety. Apparently, what she is saying just wasn't true at all. And he even released a video that she sent to him, begging him to stay in the film. First, let's watch the video.
Shia. I just went riding my horse, very sweaty, but I wanted to reach out because I feel like I'm not ready to give up on this yet, and I too am heartbroken, and I want to figure this out. And you know, I think this might be a bit of a wake-up call for Miss Flo, and I want to know if you're open to giving this a shot with me, with us. If she really commits, if she really puts her mind and heart into it at this point, and if you guys can make peace, and I respect your point of view, I respect hers, but if you guys can do it, what do you think? Is there hope? Is there hope? Will you let me know? Okay, bye.
I don't know. Kind of sounds like she's begging Shia to be in the film. And on top of that, when she says Miss Flo, she's referring to
the dude that removed Shia LaBeouf,
who was the other lead actress on this movie.
She was a chick that removed Shia LaBeouf from a movie, saying that she felt like the people on the set or the women on the set needed to be protected from him or something like that. I remember who it is now. I remember who it is now. Why do y'all continue to support these movies and these people that make these movies? She said that she removed him, but Shia said that he left on his own accord. All right, now I got it. Now I got it. Now I know who she is. Okay, cool. So let's get back to Jordan Peterson.
Tonight on Piers Morgan Uncensored, one of the most fascinating.
Take as much unnecessary, quite dramatically. And what happened, I think that I like your tone, their whole life.
Yeah.
And so when they start talking, they're all over the place. They're disagreeable, and that's a to compassion. Now AIs, it's a threat.
Community, incel being these weirdo loner men who are despicable in many ways. Is that you? Are you the intellectual hero to these people?
Sure, why not? People have been after me for a long time because I've been speaking to disaffected young men. What a terrible thing to do that is.
All right, before Jordan Peterson break down again, let's talk about this whole incel thing, right? Because I have an opinion personally, and I think that there's a lot of things and a lot of factors that contribute to men being the way that they are when it comes to them finding themselves in this space where they're labeled as incels, right? Some of it is a little bit more self-inflicted, in which is exaggerated by social media. So social media is an amplifier. And so what we see a lot of times is people retreat into social media, and don't get it twisted, right? There are a lot of black guys that we can label as incels. But social media exaggerates it because it removes our ability to be social. The fact that we have convenience at our fingertips but refuse to actually be a lot more interactive with people in real life, I think is one of the contributing factors to why people are becoming incels. They have no path, or is not being taught and pushed and groomed to be participants in society. And so if they are not going to work, in which a lot of them then work from home forever, if they can't get out into society, they then have no ability to be social or to overcome a lot of the barriers for being social. Why do you think that I'm creating a content creation studio? Why do you think that I'm creating a content creation studio? As much as I absolutely love and adore being on panels and having conversations and so on and so forth, I think that I give you a 10 times better product when I can interact with people in real life. And so I'm willing to travel to capture people's stories. I'm willing to talk to people, right? I want to create shows, and we are in the process of doing that now, in which what you see happening on camera is something that you see and happen in real life. Because as much as we love to talk to each other on panels, it's a different type of conversation when you in front of somebody. And they don't move the same way in person as they do when they on camera. And they don't talk the same way, and their body language is completely different than they are on camera. I believe that I get the best product from people when I can sit in front of you and talk to you face to face. And that is the environment that I'm creating that would then foster a better product for you guys. Then it's the same thing when it comes to interacting socially, which is why I tell you guys, hey, it's cool for you to kick it with me in the morning, and then at your convenience while you at your job or you getting ready for work, tune into the Millionaire Morning Show and hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. But then at the end of the day, you got to go outside and you got to implement, you got to do. I want you to spend the majority of your day outside. I go outside and I'm out and about doing my thing every single day because it fosters a great network, more creativity. A lot of people don't even realize that the way that I built my platform had nothing to do with being online. The reason why it was slow growth is because the majority of the people that subscribed to my channel, especially earlier in life, was people that I was interacting with outside in real life. I built my following or my foundation in real life first, and then it extended online. I don't put hashtags on my Instagram pictures at all, which means that nobody can find it unless you actually rocking with me or somebody else shares it, which means that my growth is organic. When people come to me a lot of times and they get in these coaching sessions and they trying to market themselves and they trying to blow up on YouTube real fast. Oh man, can I get a paid sponsorship? Can I market myself? Can I boost it up? How can I get more? How can I get more followers? How can I get more? I don't want all the followers. I want certain people to rock with me, and I'm cool with the slow growth because organic is the best way. And then people will ask you, well, why are they so passionate about you, Anton? Well, it's because they know me in real life, and I actually fly out to their cities, and I give people an opportunity to meet me, and I talk to my bag chasers, and I interact with them, and I spend all night kicking it with them when I fly to their cities, and we do these Patreon meetups and so on and so forth, and I'm out and about, and people that meet me, they say, yo, Anton, you got great energy. I want to kick it with you. Who are you? And then people walk over, and y'all even seen them at the Patreon meetups. Hey, who are you? Why is everybody kicking it with you? So on and so forth. I have built my following by participating in real life, which makes it that much more authentic because you know who I really am. Now, this is no shot to anybody that has built a following online. Hey, you get it where you live, but the overwhelming majority of people are not going to be successful when it comes to content creation or socialization or with women. But the only way that you can be successful is by shooting your shot and by participating in society because it's repetition. It's like sales. Most people hate sales in the same way that most people hate going on stage and giving public speakings and interacting with people in real life and rejection. And that's why they won't walk up to women. But if you can somehow, some way, which is one of the reasons why, even if you just read the first chapter of Jordan Peterson's book about the crab, is very, very profound and it's insightful. And you might even have to read it multiple times because it can be a little bit deeper than these surface books that you read and that just gives you information without any kind of context. It tells you when it breaks down the mindset of people that are and aren't. Sales. People hate sales. The reason why people hate sales is because you have to kill what you eat, and it's an opportunity for you to talk to somebody and convince them otherwise of something that they didn't even know that they wanted. But if you can do that, which is one of the reasons why I say, hey, if you can solve for women and if you can interact with women on a regular basis, you can be successful in corporate America. You can be successful when it comes to content creation. You can be successful in your business, and you can be successful in your household and your relationship. But the first thing you have to do is go outside. And there is no incentive for people to go outside because guess what? They ain't got to go get no girl. They can just go get porn. They ain't got to go and actually, play basketball or dodgeball or volleyball or go to the park or nothing because they can just go on their TV. The metaverse is coming too. It's no reason. They don't even have to walk up to a girl anymore. They being told that you can be a volume shooter in people's DMs by copying and pasting the same message over and over and over again. And the law of averages will tell you that, hey, if I send it to 1,000 women, at least 3 of them got to respond, right? It's not the way to do it. Persevere Data TV says, speaking of meetups, do you have that next city in mind? Meeting the Chasers is always a great experience. We gonna plan for New Year's Eve. We gonna plan for New Year's Eve in Miami, Persevere Data TV. So New Year's Eve, we doing a meetup in Miami, and we gonna get it popping. So Rita and I is planning it right now, and then we also planning, and that should be announced pretty soon, the actual Patreon retreat. We're gonna do a Patreon retreat, and that is next year, next summer. So, but I'm just telling you, this is the truth. It don't get no better than that. You're going to copy and paste and send the same message to 1,000 women, and you're going to hopefully get 2 or 3. And that's what they teaching you on a lot of these channels. The easiest way is the best way to do it, but I don't want anything easy. I want it all to come a certain type of way because I know that it's worth it and I'm actually gaining something and growing in a process. Let me continue over into this Jordan Peterson video.
I thought the marginalized were supposed to have a voice.
It's making you emotional. Talk about that.
Well, God, it's very difficult to understand how demoralized people are. And certainly many young men are in that category. And you get these casual insults, these incels. What does it mean? It's like, well, these men, they don't know how to make themselves attractive to women who are very picky, and good for them. Women, like, be picky.
So he's not even saying that women shouldn't be picky. Now, there's a caveat to that though, ladies. You can be as picky as you want to be, but it don't mean that you're going to necessarily get picked when it's your time. Because then when a guy starts to level up and he can become more, he become a hot commodity, does that necessarily mean that he going to pick you? That's an entirely different show, an entirely different conversation. But the point that I'm making is that if a guy ever realizes his value and his worth and he steps outside long enough to actually see the growth that comes along with participating in society, you can take over the world. The reason why I don't even push guys a lot of times to go outside, that's not a part of the bag chasers. And the bag chasers, I'm always going to advocate, push for you, get you out of your comfort zone, so on and so forth. The reason why I'm not is because it's actually making me more valuable, the fact that you decide that you want to stay in the house. Because I become greater, you become more of an incel, which is not a good thing. And then as a result, I get all of the accolades, all of the glory, all of the opportunities, all of the money and everything, because I'm willing to do the things that you're not, which is just show up. Showing up is half the battle. Walk up to her, say hello. Don't use a pickup line. This is not the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? Go up, say hi, speak to her, have a quick conversation, check out the vibes. You don't have to necessarily ask her for her number or her Instagram profile or anything like that. You don't have to do none of that. Just scope it out. If it makes sense, then shoot your shot. If not, have a good time and keep it moving, but don't move with any kind of pressure or feeling like you have to get her opportunity or a number with her. In that particular instance, just chill, have fun, speak to her, interact with people, interact with a lot of people. Right? It makes you more desirable to be desired. When a lot of people like you, there's a lot of people paying attention to you. Why do you think that married men are more desirable in a lot of instances in a lot of women's eyes than single men? Why do you think married men tend to be more successful than single men? It's not just down to a science of whether you're married or not. It's the thing that made you or put you in a position to get married in the first place that makes you more attractive to the opposite sex. Maybe I need to have a men's meeting. Jesus Christ. Maybe I need to have a men's meeting, honestly. Because the thing that got them married in the first place is the thing that makes them more attractive. And the fact that they are wanted makes them more wanted, right? Nobody wants to, who goes to the mall and well, I don't know. Some people do. I'm not looking at the sales rack first. That's not the first thing that I look at. I don't go to the car dealership and say, what's the cheapest car you got? Most people go into the car dealership because they're attracted by that halo car, that limited edition. And then they have to work their way down based off of their budget. What can you get, which is the women's side of the conversation, right? Is what can you really get? What can you afford? It's a different conversation on that side of the fence.
That's your gift, man. Demand high standards from your men. Fair enough. But all these men who are alienated, it's like they're lonesome and they don't know what to do, and everyone piles abuse on them.
When she said that, Olivia Wilde.
Now, Jordan Peterson is 100% right, and he's just passionate about men. He's passionate about helping men, which is why he wrote the book 12 Rules for Life. And it is a phenomenal book. I'm going to leave it there because there's more Jordan Peterson. I do want to have a conversation about Jordan Peterson. I want to revisit a conversation that he had 4 years ago. Possibly. We'll see what happens. We'll play it by ear. We on it. We going to get these men up. We going to get them married. We going to get them social. We going to get them in the bag. We going to get them to be more successful. We on it. I'm on it. I'm on my job. That's what we do. All right. So, yeah, man, It's on. Let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you guys hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications if you haven't already. Again, the best day to join the Patreon is today. It's the beginning of the month, the first weekday of the month. I just dropped the Patreon exclusive on Saturday. I'm dropping a Patreon interview probably Wednesday. Dropping another Patreon exclusive this week also. And then I'm also dropping inside of the Patreon the details of the next Patreon meetup, which is going to be New Year's Eve in Miami. All right. Listen, if you need to get in touch with me, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. Shout out to Renee. Renee says, please do a men and women's meeting separately. I'm with that. I can do that. Let's do a men and women's meeting separately. I'm with that. All right. So New Year's Eve, Miami, Patreon members. Make sure y'all tap in this week so that we can get all of the details, the Patreon exclusives. Join the Discord. I am going to set up a men's and a women's meeting separately. I might have a weekend free depending on whether or not somebody confirms or not. We're going to figure that out. I got Rita on the job. Shout out to Ray Sean, says online men's support group tonight. Every Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Tap in. It's free. Ray Sean does do, he does host some things. So make sure y'all tap into Ray Sean and make sure y'all subscribe to his channel. Y'all said y'all want Rita to do it. I can have Rita there. Island Girl says she been told Anton to do it. Shout out to Corey Houston, says great show. I appreciate you, Corey Houston, for the Cash App. Q got me knocked out of Fight Club yesterday. I'm kind of feeling a certain type of way about it, but I slept so good that I can't even be mad about it. I don't know. Probably do a Q&A show tonight. I'm going to tap in with Q and see what she's talking about. We're going to see what's popping. Again, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Tap into the Patreon. There's so much information and there's so much game in there. And it's a community of people that's going in the direction that you're going in, and you know how to get in touch with me. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be rich by ourselves. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We just want y'all to be the best version of yourselves. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm out.